All right, all, thanks for joining us here for the live stream on WIBW.com and wherever else Isaac has us streaming right now. I hope you can see us and hear what's going on. The severe weather has not quite reached what you consider the WIBW official viewing area just yet. But here's what we have going on. Everything in yellow there is a tornado watch going until 10 p.m. It goes up to Jewell and Mitchell counties. And at some point soon here, we are very likely to see the National Weather Service extend the watch, probably add a new watch actually, farther to the east that will include areas like Concordia, probably all the way to Topeka. So we're already seeing storms to the eastern extreme of the watch area that's in place. So as we get into Jewell and Mitchell counties over here, this storm has winds to 70 miles per hour possible with this. Concordia up to Belleville, Aurora. You guys are close to this storm. It's moving east and the stuff is expanding in aerial coverage and really is continuing to strengthen truly. And there is rotation in these. So let's check out the spin there. That is a significant area of rotation. It's not tight rotation, but you've got these bright areas of pink going away from these areas of green, kind of right beside each other. That's a strong storm. You know, the rotation area is not tight enough to say this is a tornado situation, but the fact that we've got things moving that fast in opposite directions, that close to each other, is just the kind of thing we're going to have to watch. Now, most likely this evening we're going to see several of these storms with very strong winds. And I hear a severe storm watch being issued just now. So we're seeing right there just south of Calker and Carr Creek, that's showing up 79 mile per hour winds or motion there in that part of the storm. So again, I'm hearing my phone over there chiming. There's a severe storm watch just being issued, and we're going to see which counties are going to be in this. Back up here and see if I can get them all to show up here. And it might still be the watch box. I'll see if it's actual counties. Let's see, okay. There's the box, okay. So they haven't dropped the individual counties into our system yet, but as I'm mentioning here, the severe storm watch or tornado, we didn't know which one they'd go with, but this is a severe storm watch that's just been issued that goes through Topeka, includes areas around Manhattan, really most northeast Kansas in this, and they haven't determined yet to put these counties on the Nebraska state line in the watch or out of the watch. So we'll see which way they go. Just don't think they've put the counties in just yet. So I do want to see what they mention the watch, if they're still mentioning things like 90 mile per hour winds. The tornado watch farther to the west, they were mentioning 90 mile per hour winds and hail the size of softballs, 4 inches diameter is what was being mentioned with this. So in this last few moments here, they have issued the severe storm watch for really all of northeast Kansas because of these storms that are coming out of northwest, north central Kansas, moving in our direction. And the potential is there for these to have extremely strong winds. And timing it out in Supercast, there's 9 p.m. and it has storms getting into Abilene, Clay Center, maybe Manhattan by then. And it'll roll us a little farther along. Getting to Topeka probably after 10 or close to it. But we'll see there in this model is there's all these areas that are shaped like bows in here. And I'm going to loop it again so you can see it better. But these bow shapes that are in here indicate the strong straight line wind potential. So here we go, loop this again. All right. Areas like this, shaped like a bow, that is strong straight line winds. It's a computer model indicating this. And if you've been watching for the last several hours, every hour this computer model updates and it's always a little bit different. But the consistent thing has been we keep seeing this bow segment showing up in here. This is a bow segment there. That's a bow segment right there, rolling it forward. I just whipped past one that was closer to 10 p.m. It looked really nasty right here near Centralia Corning. This is a bow right here. That's a bow there. All these bowing segments are where you can see these strong straight line winds. And the worst of it tends to be right in the middle of those bows. So again, we're seeing the severe storm watch just being issued here in the last few moments. Now we have it crawling on TV. Looks like they have left Brown, Nemaha, and Marshall County just out of it. But, as I will say often, storm watches are not fences. So the storms do not necessarily have to obey the watches that are issued. The storms, as a matter of fact, are not aware of our storm watches by any means. So there's the tornado watch going until 10. And I'm going to see if I can just add the severe storm watch here easily or not. There we go. So that is the severe storm watch. All the counties in orange here in northeast Kansas. And I can check out the text from this now and see what they have to say. Can hear my own voice back there yelling. There's a severe storm watch from the WIBW weather app. All right. There we go. All right, so I'm going to read this to you. I see the big numbers are still here. All right. Widespread damaging winds and isolated significant gusts to 85 miles per hour are likely. So 85 miles per hour is not a typical severe storm watch. In order to have a severe storm, you need winds of 60 miles per hour, 58 miles per hour technically. So when they're saying 85 mile per hour winds, then that's a big deal. That's not common. All right, summary. Supercells should cluster into a transit. My apologies. Supercells should continue to transition and grow upscale into an intense Boeing cluster this evening. Occasional large to very large hail and perhaps a tornado or two will remain possible with any thunderstorms that can remain at least semi-discrete. I'm going to bring the radar back up here while I'm reading this to you. Otherwise, numerous to potentially widespread severe damaging winds appear likely with the Boeing complex. Peak winds may reach up to 75 to 85 miles per hour on an isolated basis. Severe storm watch, approximately long, 50 miles, yada yada. You just saw the map. Conditions favorable for severe storms and in close to watch area. Okay, so that's a key line there that I want you guys to understand. A severe thunderstorm watch means conditions are favorable for severe storms in and close to the watch area. So as I mentioned, we've got Brown, Nemaha, and Marshall are not in the watch, but if you read these watches closely, you'll see the words in and around. So don't consider these watches to be a fence. You know, if you're one county out of a watch, I consider myself to be in the watch, truly. They don't say in and around, you know, and they're saying that for a reason. All right. So the wildest weather by far right now is this stuff right here in Jewell, Mitchell counties. Extending over here, what do we got there? Osborne, Smith counties. And this stuff also says 70 mile per hour winds. So what concerned me there a moment ago is seeing some of the bigger numbers showing up on the radar right about there. They're bright white near Walnut Creek. This stuff in here, I'm going to see what kind of values we get on that. 74 miles per hour. Okay, so that radar image is not down close to the surface. It is, how many miles away we are here from the radar, and I can give you an estimate there. So from the radar to that blob of white is almost 60 miles. So at 60 miles, you're looking about 6,000 feet above the ground. Okay, so there are particles being detected by the radar just about a mile up that are moving, you know, interstate speed. So that's real, that's happening, it's just not at the ground. Now the warnings do say 70 mile per hour winds are possible. Okay, so we have particles moving around that speed. We have the warning saying that's possible at surface. Again, it's a mile above the ground there, we're detecting it by the radar. So we're already getting things starting to move around at that speed, so the possibility of seeing damaging winds is becoming more and more real here. I'm going to try backing up a little bit here, and I want you to see there is rotation showing up in that storm too. So right in here, this bright area of kind of white, almost orange, is bumped up against some green here. I'm going to roll that forward and watch that feature where those two areas are together, and it kind of stays together, okay? Now the green and the bright areas are kind of white and orange here. They get a little closer, and what you're looking at there is red's going away from the radar, the white's going away faster, and the green's going toward the radar. We're a mile up, but we're spinning, okay? So if we were to see a tornado warning issued at some point in the near future, it's that dude right there. And I am a one-man show at the moment, so if you hear my phone ringing all kinds of stuff, I'm going to just do what I can do here. But that's the most important thing right now, is that storm. If anything goes tornado warning first, it's going to be that. I really expect that this stuff should be pretty easy to time out going forward here. And we have more development going up now in Saline County, into Ottawa County, and the western part of Cloud County. How long did that take to happen? Not very. So in the last 15 minutes, we've gone from nothing there to storms developing pretty rapidly. Interesting. All right. So, but going forward through the evening, we should see these jumble up into one long line. Now, a big worry that I have about this is if we see any isolated storms pop up out ahead of the line, those are the ones that could be the tornado forming stuff. You could see tornadoes along the line as well. But if we see a big tornado, you know, one that's the kind that can remove a house or that kind of thing, you're going to be looking at one that's probably ahead of the line. So if we get anything high end like that, then it's probably going to be something that, like the stuff that's developing out around Saline County and Ottawa County right now. The stuff along the line should mostly be a lot of wind with embedded tornadoes if that happens. But the stuff out ahead of that line, anything gets out by itself, and as the Weather Service said, can remain at least semi-discrete, meaning discrete being out by itself. When things form into lines, you have a harder time making the whole line rotate. So you can have little rotations within the line, but storms are out by themselves, shaped more like a ball that are by themselves. They can rotate more freely, and those are the ones that tend to produce the bigger tornadoes and bigger problems. So, all right. Keeping track of stuff coming in here from different sources. And again, we don't have any warnings yet in Northeast Kansas, but we will. And if it gets too wild, of course, we'll break in on TV. But for now, we're kind of just waiting for this stuff to get into Cloud County, which it will do soon here. I do have the camera there set up at Cloud County Community College, so I can watch as the storm arrives there. We have the KDOT camera near Highway 24 and 81. We'll be watching it as well. And what I'm going to do here, while I have a minute before things get wild, is I'm going to update that graphic that has the severe storm watch on it. But this is looking to the west, southwest from Cloud County Community College. And they have that pole you see is the pole the camera itself is on. So, you've got to have it somewhere. It's got to be mounted so that you're going to have to lose something. So right now the view straight to the west is what I lose there. It's kind of what you're looking at. All right, so let's update that severe storm watch graphic. So I still have the tornado watch listed, but I don't have the, I have the tornado watch listed, but I don't have the severe storm warning and watch in there yet. So I need to add that. And normally it would automatically populate, but I have some things set up here I need to change. So let's go in there and do that. And I think I'm going to just focus on that being our problem over here. And again, we don't have any severe storm warnings or tornado warnings here in northeast Kansas right now. So don't worry at this moment. Okay. Okay, I have the severe storm watch updated there. I still have the tornado watch in there. I'm just going to mention verbally that the severe storm watch has potential for 85 mile per hour winds, because if they change that later in the evening, then it will become more cumbersome for me to try to change it while in the middle of covering everything. So let's just leave that text off and I'll just keep saying it. All right, so this severe storm is just right up to the edge of Cloud County, that warning, going until 8:15. So we've got, that's from Mitchell County, and it's hail the size of $50. Beloit is in the path of this. And let's check out the hail size there on this. It takes a moment for this to ingest, but it's the VIL, the vertically integrated liquid. If you are scoring at home, want to know what that data is. And you can pick that up on Radar Scope and a lot of different apps that will that have the single site data. But vertically integrated liquid, if you want to check that out, is what that would be. I'm going to check out the velocity now, which just shows up as BV, base velocity, on a lot of those single site radars products. So that's what it is right here. Again, I still see some spin there. It's kind of right over the middle of Mitchell County. There's a little spin kind of right there. The stronger spin's over there. But there's definitely two areas that look like they're spinning in there. Probably more of a tornado risk than the ones the most to the right or the east, and probably more of a severe wind on the piece that was farther to the west or left. All right, let's loop this. You'll see the storms developing rapidly in Saline County and into Ottawa County as well. Those not severe yet, but they probably will be soon. All right, let's see. Let's see what sort of reports we have so far with this. I know we had a few reports of hail and wind. So there we go. I'm going to look up another source here so I can kind of sort out what the worst of those values might be. Okay, so these are all, I see one of 64 miles per hour near Cawker City. And I don't see any massive hail in there yet. There's a hail the size of quarters that's been reported. And over in Colorado, I see a storm that's had hail the size of baseballs, even larger than baseballs over there. So this is still kind of gathering steam, really. And most likely this is going to be a wind event for us. But again, the potential, if these storms are out ahead of the line, is where we have potential for, if we have a tornado or a big tornado, it will be just ahead of the line. And yes, there's a severe storm watch. It's not a tornado watch. All right, so the storm's near, okay. All right, so the storms near Salina are starting to really intensify quickly. Mike Sharus, one of the storm chasers over there, watching that now. And I'm going to try to make sure I've got some of these folks' feeds up and going. But the storms near Salina, which are not impressive yet, are getting there and could become much more impressive on radar in the next couple of scans. So we have to watch that stuff really close. All right. All right, so just heads up, Cloud County, Clay County, Ottawa, Dickinson. You guys are almost sure to have severe storm warnings issued within the next half hour to 45 minutes in those areas. It would be hard to imagine how you wouldn't. And you'll probably be dealing with winds of 70 is what the warnings will probably say. And I was showing the rotation in some of these a minute ago. So, you know, severe storm watch does not mean only severe storms are possible. You know, the cutoff there for a severe storm watch or tornado watch is not that they don't expect to see tornadoes. Severe storm watches are issued when a couple of tornadoes are possible. So the fact we have a severe storm watch in Northeast Kansas, that's not a reason to kind of, you know, relax. I mean, it's a step down from tornado watch, but it's not as big as you might think, especially when they're mentioning 85 mile per hour wind gusts are a possibility here. I'm trying to get some live chasers up here while I'm at it. So I'm just kind of ready when the stuff gets going. So bear with me a moment here. Again, no severe storm warnings in Northeast Kansas, no tornado warnings. We are okay at the moment. All right, I have the antler collector up and running, live streaming, and he's in Saline County, and I'll have that once we start going wild here with some warnings and that kind of thing, or we're going to be watching him a lot, I think. Yeah, I got antler collector live. And if you want to look for his feed, it is, he's YouTube, and his name is The Antler Collector. That's Mike Sharus. He's out of Junction City. A good dude. I think I chat with him just about every day, truly. But, you know, he's a great storm chaser and real safe, and those are the things that are important. So. See if I can find the other guys here as well. All right. All right, guys, so if you're watching here and I'm not chattering quite as much as I normally would, I don't have anything yet in our area. It's getting there. I'm still kind of setting stuff up and getting ready. I got Mike Sharus, storm chasing near Salina. This storm, it looks like nothing on radar right now, is actually exploding, and that could become a big problem. So the storms out ahead of the line are the ones I'm most worried about. The stuff along the line, we're worried about. The stuff that's out ahead of the line, if it starts to get a bit more strong, can stay isolated by itself out ahead of the line, that's the stuff that can produce tornadoes or even big tornadoes. So, like I said, I've got Mike right about there, near that one, and I'm watching his feed, and the base of that storm does look like it could be a problem, so we're going to be watching it. Is anybody in the bridge right now? Okay, you're fine. I just want to see if you're there. If you're there, that's cool. Okay. If I start hollering at you in a minute, then just you're good. Okay. If I yell now, yo, you weren't here for that, but for those of us watching, Bill Curtis was here today, which is just super cool. I mean, to see the guy, and I had I talked to him for a couple of minutes. It's just really neat. If you've heard the man speak on TV, I'm sure. He's just the most genuine of people. When he talks to people, you can tell he's the type of person that's listening to every word that somebody says. A lot of these folks like that, they're just that big. They kind of hear you and they kind of keep moving. This dude is genuine. I mean, like it's the 2 times I've gotten to meet him, not just when I speak to him, but I can see him talking to other people. He's not in a hurry. He's going to hear every word you have to say, understand it. I mean, you can just tell he really cares about people, and it's just a really neat dude. So I'm not going to use this line, but today on the 4 o'clock show, it was something to say we have a tornado watch northwest of here in north central Kansas at the time. It's Bill Curtis sitting on the red couch, and we have a tornado watch, and I'm on June 8th. Like too many things there. So, but anyway, before this gets all going here, just something I was thinking about. That's a cool dude. Like really. All right, so back to the job here. We're watching this stuff near Salina in Saline County, and you can see in the last couple of frames there how fast that's growing. And Mike, like I said, Mike is on that. This other part of the storm here is doing what it's supposed to do from the watch, joining up into a line. So you can see this cluster of storms is all kind of lined up together. Now in the middle of this, you can see some areas of little rotation. Those will probably be strong straight line winds. You can have embedded tornadoes in there, but overall, this is a line that will become strong straight line winds. The stuff out ahead of it is the stuff that has a higher potential to cause tornado problems. So this thing is just about to go across I-70. You can actually see it starting to hook right there, just southwest of Salina. So areas like Bennington, not Minneapolis. We got Miltonvale upstream from this. It's kind of the same path we did before, back in the 18th. Isn't that kind of the path we did before? Solomon, Longford. Miltonvale's a little farther north, but maybe. So that storm concerns me a lot. This one. Kind of draw on the hooky area here. I don't like that at all. Okay. This storm forming out ahead of the line, that aggressively, with that hook showing up, yeah, we don't want to see that. Let me see if Mike's been messaging me over and over here, I think. Okay. What is this one? Okay, Lincoln County, Russell County, 70-mile-per-hour winds, golf ball size hail. Not too wild yet. But this thing in Saline County, that is definitely concerning here. And I've got other monitors here going off screen. So if you see me kind of walk over here, Hey, Denny, are you able to bring up the touchscreen? Not the shot of me, but just bring it up. Thank you. Sorry, I've been kind of walking back and forth in front of the screen there. Sorry, guys. Okay, so that's Mike Sharuis' shot there, and he is near Salina right now. So that's a shot he has at the bottom of that cloud. This is the one I'm most worried about right now, is this one. So Mike Sharuis, again, the antler collector, if you want to check him out, you can watch his feed. He's a good chaser. He's safe. He's a good dad. Just a cool dude. So if you want to check him out, you can do that. And I'll be watching his feed too. There's the KDOT camera at 135 Centennial Road in Salina as well. And I am going to keep an eye on both those. Now, we also have the storms moving toward this camera, which is at Highway 81 and 24. That's just south of Concordia. And of course, we have that camera at Cloud County Community College. And we have another one with the high school there in town. And then we have one near Belleville from KDOT as well. So we have lots of eyes on all of this. And I also have the other radar source here we can check out. So this is showing that area of strongest winds getting into Mitchell County right now. And a lot of that energy, you can see the brighter areas there are kind of diving south at this point. They're feeding off some of the higher moisture content in that area. But what concerns me a lot, as I was mentioning, is that stuff that's over near Salina that is developing rapidly and is now showing a hail the size of quarters is indicated there. All right, Denny, if you'll take me back to the Max 1, please. Thank you, Denny. Now keep an eye on Mike and KDOT and all of it. I can do it. So Doug is out of town doing a vacation with viewers, of course, and I don't want Mitchell to go without sleep. Mitchell's working the morning show tomorrow, so you got a whole lot of suspenders today. This storm is rotating near Tescott. That's got a hook to it. The one over Salina has a hook. Let's see if it's got spin to it or just hook. It's too far from the radar to really show very well at the moment, unfortunately. I was mentioning earlier when I was looking at the storm coming, I was looking from the Hastings radar to the south at the storm in Mitchell County. It was about 60 miles away. Salina is much farther from the radars, and that is a weakness. So from the Wichita radar to Salina, you're 87, 90 miles. That means I'm not seeing anything below 1.5 miles. And the beam becomes wider over distance. So the closer you are to the radar, the beam is more narrow. But just like if you were shining a flashlight at the wall in your house, if you're right up against the wall, that the flashlight beam is really small. It's about the size of the head of the flashlight. If you take 5 steps back from the wall, the flashlight beam spreads out. The radar beam spreads out too. So from Wichita up to Salina, the beam is wider, so the resolution is worse, and the information is up higher in the atmosphere. So, if we're looking at data in Saline County, it's not as good as the data over Riley County, for example. So that's something we deal with there. And in that situation for Saline County is also kind of far from the Topeka radar. See how far it is there? And then we also have the Hastings radar, which are all pretty far from it. All of them will reach Saline County, but they're all still pretty far. So for Topeka, we'll go from the Topeka radar over there. And it's not the worst. But from Topeka radar over to Saline County, Salina, you're 75 miles. So that's the closest to it. So you're still 1.5 miles up in the atmosphere, and the beam is more than 1 mile wide. So that's, that makes it more complicated trying to track stuff in those areas. All right, this dude is super hooky now. At least it was from this radar. Yeah, from the Topeka radar, it's got a wild hook. From the Hastings radar, it's not as bad. But this in Lincoln County is certainly looking more exciting on radar. And again, we're farther from radar here, so we're higher up in the atmosphere. But these are going to start to be some bigger, more exciting numbers. Okay, so I'm going to put on the velocities here. And when I do that, I want you to remember that this is not the surface. Okay. So let's check out some of the numbers there. What do we got? 74, 101, 111. So, this isn't a surprise. I mean, this is something the Weather Service has been saying today is, winds of 90 miles per hour is possible in the first watch, and they're saying 85 miles per hour is possible in the severe storm watch across northeast Kansas. They're also saying tornadoes are possible. So we're getting particles moving around now at more than 100 miles per hour, about a mile to a mile and a half up off the deck. So, and that's in Lincoln County and Russell County. So they're still going with 70 mile per hour winds on their warning, and that's not a huge surprise because, again, that's not down at the surface. Denny, can you take the screenwriter again? Is it called screenwriter? So again, Mike is chasing the storm that's over in the Salina area right now. And we're going to check on him often. All right, go ahead and take the radar again, please, Denny. Thank you. So Mike is going to be on that storm that's near Salina. But it's a significant possibility we could see these upgraded to be damaging storms in Lincoln and Russell County shortly here. That's a real possibility. Okay. Yeah, they updated that warning just about 13 minutes ago, so it goes to 8:45. If that box fills in with red, kind of a transparent red, then you'll know at the same time I do. That means damaging, which is 80 miles per hour and up. So the color codings I have on these warnings, if you have just purple like this, that's a severe storm warning. It's been issued, okay? If you see kind of a peach ribbon inside with a purple on the outside, still severe storm warning, but it means it's in the considerable category. And when they do that, they mean hail the size of golf balls or bigger, and winds to 70 or bigger, okay? So whenever this fills in, if it's that color and it's got like kind of it's a transparent red film over the top of it, that means it's damaging storm. And that category means winds of 80 or higher, and it means it can mean hail the size of baseballs or bigger. So it can be the wind or the hail, it can be both. So if it fills in, then you can be at home and go, hey, you'll know what that means. White, I use for tornado, and I've not seen anybody else in the nation use white. I tried it one time with Drew Schweitzer back when he was here, and the reason I used white is because it's the only thing that was not a color being used on the radar, so it stands out, like a sore thumb, if you will. Every color on here is being used: the purples, the reds, the orange, yellow. If I use red for tornado warnings, it kind of bleeds in. So white, a lot of people use for winter, of course. And when I first tried white, it showed up so well, and Drew and I were both like, that works. I can't believe this works, but it works. All right, Mike is on I-70 now in Salina, just north of town. So that storm's coming right at him. Denny, can you take that other one again? Thank you. So this is the view from Mike Shruis, and again, he's on I-70, or just south of I-70 there in Salina. So that storm with the rotation is coming directly toward him right now. So where he's at, he's going to have some rain between him and the storm. I don't love the spot he's in, but I'm sure he'll do the smart thing and get out of the way before it comes that way. All right, take the radar again for me. Thank you, Denny. So this hook right there, take the radar for me, Denny. Sorry. There you go. This is the hook on this. It's not a tornado warning, but it's one that could do it. And Mike's right about in here. So hopefully he will avoid that. But he's in position in case that thing does start to go. Then we'll know. All right, this stuff is really jumbling into one big storm here. And it looked like it's kind of starting to dive south. At least the higher velocities were. But the north end of it still staying together. So it's kind of expanding while the higher velocities in it are really diving south across Lincoln County and Russell County. So in a few minutes here, we'll have some pretty amazing video on I-70. If you need to travel on I-70 west of Abilene over the next couple of hours, that's going to be a mess. This is going to be extremely strong winds. You do not want to travel down I-70 west of Abilene to Hayes. Between Abilene and Hayes the next 2 hours, I just would not recommend doing that. You know, I don't want to overstate it. You know, if I had friends or, close friends or family saying, hey, Jeremy, I'm thinking about driving to Hayes from Abilene, I'm telling them no. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying no, please don't, wait, okay? But that's going to be a mess. We're going to have some amazing video of it shortly from the KDOT cameras once it starts to get onto the interstate. But if you need to travel that direction, that's going to be a dangerous area for a while here. And they haven't gone to destructive on the storm yet for the warning, but that's a real possibility. And whether they go destructive or not doesn't always mean the storm's going to do what it says. But there's definitely areas of strong wind in there, very strong wind, coming across Russell and Lincoln counties, heading right toward the turnpike there, or the turnpike, I-70. All right, so for the rest of northeast Kansas here, it's going to be a while before the severe storms start to pester the rest of us. This is still developing from Abilene to Salina. There are storms developing in this area. So Clay Center, Randolph, Riley, Manhattan, Junction City, Fort Riley. You guys should be paying close attention to this now. Concordia, of course, Washington. You're all going to be impacted by this shortly here. In Topeka, Osage City, Emporia, Burlington, this could be several hours. The severe storm watch goes until 1 o'clock in the morning, so we still have a lot of time on this. But if you're in Topeka wondering, where's the storm at? Where's the storm at? It's going to be several hours here. Holton, same thing. Hiawatha, Oskaloosa, going to be later. Could be even close to midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's run Supercast here and see what time is in this now. And it's slowing it down more. And that's what I saw. We were on 13 News at 5 and 6. 4 o'clock was different, but the 5 and 6 o'clock models had this already in Concordia by 7 o'clock. And you may remember I said that looks like it's a little fast to me. So this model still has it getting in, to Washington and Abilene at 9 o'clock. So this has slowed down. There's 10 o'clock and it's still west of Manhattan. 11 o'clock, it wants to bring this in Topeka and areas almost to Holton. So, the farther out you get, the less exact the model is going to be. But the timing of it kind of gives us an estimate. So it's still going to be several hours for Topeka. I'm not saying 11 o'clock necessarily, but certainly not before 10 in the capital city for this. Emporia is probably closer to 10 o'clock as well. I mean, we're almost to 8:30 here, and the storm's just getting into really into Saline County and not quite in Concordia. And we'll see this energy may even go south Concordia from looking at how that cluster of the strongest storms here is really kind of making its way to the southeast. There's new warning. It's the first one. This is the first warning in the WIBW official viewing area. So, you know, or whatever that means. But the southwest part of Cloud County, you're technically ours, according to Nielsen and all that. Dickinson County is not in this. It's Ottawa. I was going to say Dickinson, but it's Ottawa and Cloud County in this. Another new warning down here. And they're going with 70-mile-per-hour winds in that part. That's getting down to I-70 now. And this thing near Salina, looking more exciting as well. I'm going to check out the view from Cloud County Community College and see how that's looking. So again, we have a severe storm warning in Cloud County now. All right. So we look at this, and I'll answer some questions you guys have here on the feed. And I think I got Facebook up. Yeah, I got Facebook up. So I'll answer a couple of these questions here. How fast is it moving? It's all kind of moving different speeds. Cindy, some kind words there. I appreciate you guys being so nice. It's amazing to me how nice folks are in this area. I'm just so thankful. I can't see all your comments there. Now I can. All right. So Mike's the truck stop north of 70. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, if you're streaming, text me because I don't know where you're at. Jeffrey, if you're streaming, let me know how to see you, please. Jeffrey Winger, please. Thank you. And Jeffrey, I'm by myself tonight. It's just me, so holler at me. All right, thanks guys for telling me where he is. Pea-size hail in Salina. Fox 4 or nothing. Cody, I do love those guys over there. Fox 4 is great. I do love those guys. All right. So the stream's working. That's good. We got Cloud County is in a severe storm warning now. And it's not a high-end warning for Cloud County. So in Cloud County, I'm not saying take shelter, but just stay inside. And the storm warning does not include Concordia at this point. It's the southwest part of Cloud County. So there's the severe storm watch, goes till 1 o'clock in the morning. We have the tornado watch for areas to the west, and that goes till 10. So these are the areas that are in severe storm warnings right now. So we got the southwest corner of Cloud County, including folks around Glasgow. Delphos is in this. And then down here, this storm is developing in the northeast part of Saline County, and that one worries me. That's got a hook on it, and Mike Sharuas is chasing that. And you'll notice it's not moving very quickly. It's almost stationary, truly. But that one does have a hook with it and some rotation. This stuff, moving across Lincoln County and Russell County, this is going to have strong straight line winds with it. And the outline of the new warning that just came out, right there, I'm going to draw it in white around the edge here. That warning that just came out, they're saying 70-mile-per-hour winds and hail the size of $50, but it would not surprise me if that gets upgraded to 80-mile-per-hour winds at some point here, because there are indications from the radar it could be that strong. So if that fills in with that with all red basically, then you would know that it's jumped up to that. I'll tell you, of course, but if you see it do that, that's what the color code means on my system here. And that would be right along I-70. There are several cameras along there from KDOT on I-70 you'll be able to check out. Now, on the velocities here, you can see a bunch of these wild oranges and pinks and things, the strongest of which is right there near Lincoln Center. And that's going to be something probably 100 miles per hour higher. But that's also more than a mile up in the atmosphere. Let's see how wild these numbers are now. 96. And that one is 91. So, you know, that area of peach and orange in there is, you know, something 90 miles per hour and worse. And that's all diving southward. So I roll it forward there. No, now it's kind of moving to the east. Okay. Now it's starting to take shape. This is taking shape now. Okay. That is bad. That is a batch of extremely strong winds that are diving kind of to the east-southeast. Now, if for Concordia, it's looking more promising that that monster wind event could miss you to the south. Council Grove should be paying close attention to this. Emporia should be paying close attention to this. And the watch that they issued a while ago. Let's check this out. See up here, these counties from Marshall County over to Brown, Nemaha, Atchison, Donovan counties, they don't have you guys in the watch. That's probably because they saw this stuff developing on the computer models and they expect it to go more away from you guys up there. So that looks like the reason why they've put the watch farther to the south like this and not put areas like Marysville, Seneca, and Hiawatha in the watch. So we'll see if it goes any farther to the south. But right now that burst of the greatest energy there is staying away from those areas farther north and east, at least for now. Okay, now they've issued a warning for this one, a severe storm warning for the one that Mike Charos is chasing. And let's see what the words say on this one. We've got severe storm warning, half dollar size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Okay. And they have it moving northeast at 10, a very slow moving storm. So that's a severe storm warning in Saline County now. And as I mentioned, I got Mike on that, but he's there and I'm watching him. Go ahead and take Mike's video again, if you would. I'm going to walk across the screen again sometimes like that. But go ahead and take the, it's screenwriter, right?
Really strong winds out of the east right now.
There it is. That's Mike's view there at Petro in Salina. And you can see the strong winds there from the headlights of that truck driving by. And this is not quite 60-mile-per-hour winds at that location at this point. But we're getting there. And that's the storm I was worried about, that it has a hook to it. And if something goes tornado, it's going to be this guy right here. All right, go ahead and take the radar, if you will, again, Mr. Denny. Thank you. All right, so here's the situation we have now. If you're in Topeka, it's just the population center. Yes?
I can currently key you over that now.
You can what?
I was keying you over that now.
Oh.
When we go to that, you can stay over there and point stuff out.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right. So far, nothing wild enough to yell, now, yo. But, okay, the situation here. If you're in Topeka, Emporia, Holton, it's going to be a while before you see storms farther east. If you are in Marysville, Seneca, Hiawatha, up here, you are not in the severe storm watch. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to have a severe storm risk, but your risk in these areas to the north, from Donovan, Atchison, Brown, Nemaha, Marshall, your risk up here is lower than it is farther south. This batch of storms is moving kind of to the east-southeast, most of the energy in that. This storm is moving northeast. If anything produces a tornado, right now that's the one that I would put my nickel on to be the one to do it. So this is the one I'm most concerned about doing something like that. This stuff in here has strong straight line winds with it so far. And I haven't seen reports of anything above 70 miles per hour, fortunately. But the possibility is certainly there, and the stuff is still developing. Let's check out the composite radar. I'm going to go wider here, and I want to look at a couple of hours of how this has been going. There we go. That's moving slow. Okay, so what we've seen here is the storm's developing in northwest Kansas, making their way kind of almost straight east for a while, and then now the last couple of hours, we're diving more to the southeast. And there's not a lot showing signs of staying up here, Republic, Washington, over to Marshall, Nemaha, Brown counties. So as this is kind of rolling forward, your chances of seeing wild severe weather is diminishing farther to the north from what I see. There are still tornado warnings and severe storm warnings out to west parts of Colorado, Wyoming, western Nebraska. Those could be storms we deal with later. But this initial cluster here that could produce 80 or 85 mile per hour winds is this thing. So again, the stuff that's diminishing to the north, if you're in areas around Republic County, Washington County, this is a really good sign for you guys that you might avoid the higher end wind problems. All right. So Salina here. The storm just doesn't have a lot of forward motion, but it's got more rotation than it did for sure. All right, I'm kind of checking on Mike over here on the other screens what I'm doing. And I want to check the KDOT camera there too. Okay. All right. This does have spin in Saline County. Yeah, it does. This stuff right here. Okay. Okay, there's what I mentioned earlier, this damaging. Okay, so there we go. This filled in with the red. I mentioned that a while ago as a possibility. Now we're up to 80 miles per hour. And that is coming across Lincoln County. So this is the first time that we've had that kind of wind showing up here on any of these warnings. Can you take the touch board now? That's the Wilson.
You just can't really see much because of the
see how
precipitation.
this canvas is really
We'll probably have a
shaking
better
around
view of
there.
it.
So this is, I don't think this is the 80 mile per hour winds, but you're getting close to it. When these KDOT cameras are really shaking around like that, that's an intense wind that's moving across the Wilson exit, near Wilson exit there on I-70. All right, take the radar back if you will, Denny, please. So that's actually just to the west of the actual damaging part of the warning, but again, these warnings are not fences. So let's check out the wording of that warning. And as I mentioned earlier, if you need to drive down I-70 between Abilene and Hayes over the next couple of hours, I would put that off, please, at least for a little while. All right, so they say 3 minutes ago, located 7 miles southwest of Lincoln, moving southeast at 35 miles per hour, 80 mile per hour winds, radar indicated. So we've got the Ellsworth County and Lincoln County. Let me see if I can see it on the velocity here. There were several spots in the radar that looked like they could be something that high. So these bright areas of pink and orange in here, this is probably what they're looking at right in this area. But you're looking at winds that are almost surely close to 80 miles per hour, just about to go right across I-70. So again, if you need to travel that direction, you know somebody that is, if you could put that off a little while, I certainly would recommend it. That's just going to be a dangerous area for a while to be on the road. And the camera that's at Lincoln Hill there absolutely will not work right now. Sometimes that happens. You have the severe wind, sometimes it'll kick them off. All right. Let's see if I can get it back. All right. So that's the most exciting warning we have right now is the Lincoln-Ellsworth stuff. We have to watch this one closely because it does have some spin in the northeast part of Saline County. Still has a hook with it. There's a second hook near Elm Creek. It's a third hook near Minneapolis. All right, guys. I don't like any part of that, guys. I don't like this, that, this. Any one of those three, any one or all of them could produce a tornado. That's a mess. Those all have hooks. They're all in an area where they could produce tornadoes. That's extremely dangerous. Okay. So that's for people in Saline County, Ottawa County, Dickinson County, Clay County should be watching this too. That area from Minneapolis to Bennington, Tescott to Salina, that's a very dangerous area right now with all three of those developing hooks. And they all have structure with the cumulonimbus towers spreading out ahead of them. All three of those are dangerous. This is the winds that are 80 miles per hour moving across I-70 shortly there from Lincoln County to Ellsworth County. Traveling west on I-70 from Salina toward Russell. That's a dangerous place to be right now with that kind of wind. I'm going to try again to see if I can get that camera at Lincoln Hill to come up, but it has not been operating the last couple of moments. Go ahead and take the other source. There you go. So this is at the Wilson exit on I-70. And again, this is just the west of the damaging warning. But you can see the winds there are very strong. I mean, you're at least 60 miles per hour there, maybe as high as 70. Then the view there at Lincoln Center, or Lincoln Hill, it's just not working right now. On the KDOT camera there. Go a little farther to the east down I-70. Now we're in Salina. There's a Solomon exit, which is really in the path of that rotating storm. And then Mike Charos is getting in position there, following that rotating storm that's near Salina. So that's his view again. All right, take the radar again, Denny, please. Okay, so this rotation there is northeast of Salina. That's getting more serious for sure. I mean, I don't know how much more hook echo you get than that. I mean, that's a hook. You know, they've got plenty of spotters around Salina that would see this if this is down or it's producing a tornado. Mike, I didn't see where you're at. Mike's on 70 now. Where he's going? He does have a cracked windshield, though. I can see that. So Saline County, If we had a tornado warning issued for this in the next few moments, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Bennington, you could be in a tornado warning shortly for this one. And over here to Minneapolis, that's not as nasty as it was a moment ago, but matter of fact, it's not as impressive as it was, but this one is. We could even have a tornado warning issued that goes into Dickinson County with this, maybe. It's moving so slow, though, that if they drop a tornado warning on this, I'm thinking, would they go into Dickinson County or not? And I'm just not sure. Take the other camera, the other source view again, please. Denny, take the other source, please. There. So this is what Mike has. She's looking at that storm, so I don't think it's down. All right, take the radar again, please. Thank you. All right, so if we get a tornado warning there in Saline County, it won't surprise us. All right. I'm trying to hook up another storm chaser here, see if I can get him in his live feed. Okay. Bear with me here, guys. I'm going to get another feed of a storm chaser going. Jeff Winger is out of Dickinson County, and he's about to be in pretty optimal position for that if this storm keeps misbehaving like it is. I'm getting him. Okay. All right, also, still a hook echo there in Saline County. And there's two of them actually. This one heading towards Solomon. And there's not a tornado warning on this. It has plenty of spin. It's not the strongest spin I've ever seen, but that's a rotation right there. And we could have a tornado warning issued for that. That's very possible. And if we do, it might include Dickinson County. There's a hook echo over here. It's not as scary, but partially because it's farther to the northwest, but it has a rotation there close to Elm Creek. This stuff over here, crossing I-70, that is 80-mile-per-hour winds, according to the National Weather Service warning. And can you guys take the source for me again? I want to check out the view there on I-70. That's I-70 at the Solomon exit. We're going to go farther west. That's at Wilson exit. So extremely strong winds there, probably 70 miles per hour close to it. And the camera at the Lincoln Hill exit is down.
Just fogged over.
And then the camera at the Solomon exit. This is in the path of that potential, that rotating storm. I'm going to call it potential tornado because it's,
The window's just all steamed right.
I don't want to overstate it. And
That is crazy.
Mike's getting a position there still, kind of tracking this one, rolling along with that severe storm that's rotating there in Saline County. All right, take radar again, please,
Line of storm.
if you will. Thank you very much. So this storm has the damaging winds there in Lincoln and Ellsworth County. That has 80-mile-per-hour winds a possibility. I'm watching this thing spin just to the east of Salina, and it's really slow moving. So around Solomon and I-70 from Salina to Solomon, that's a dangerous area to be right now with potential for a tornado to develop. Farther north, Concordia, haven't mentioned you guys in a while. That severe storm warning has stayed south Concordia. Glasgow, you're still in it. This goes till 9:15. 70-mile-per-hour winds are the potential. It looks like the worst of that wind is probably south of Glasgow at this point. And you may even be taken out of that warning at some point. And areas farther to the north, like Washington County, Marshall County, Nemaha, Brown, the storms are getting in position where they're looking less likely to affect folks farther north, I'd say that. So here, look at the new warning just issued, okay? National Weather Service just issued a new warning for all this stuff, and they took it farther south, okay? So this stuff is diving southward. The storm near Salina is crawling northeastward, moving very slow. So this new warning they put out really goes a long way out from the actual storms that are in progress. So, but it shows you the direction they've put this warning here, really far to the south. That's going away from areas like your Junction City, Manhattan, Fort Riley. So perhaps this continue diving southward. Now, the computer models, still take this line to the east through the evening. Let's look at that again. Okay, this is an updated computer model here, going through 10 p.m. And see, the storms aren't anywhere near Topeka now. It was 11 midnight. So this model is taking these storms and just slowing them down and all of a sudden taking them east after 10. I don't believe that. So now I'm not trusting the model. What I just saw the model do didn't make any sense in reality here. So we're doing it together because it's the first time I'm seeing this stuff. But let's evaluate this together, if you will. Help me to evaluate this. So while I see some motion here across Cloud County, I'm confident that we're going to get storms over into Clay County. But the bulk of that energy is still really crawling to the south. A lot of it's moving to the north. It doesn't look anything now or in the computer models like it did earlier. Earlier, what we were looking at was kind of a north-south oriented line with bowing segments coming straight east, straight east, straight east. That's not what this is doing at all. You've got this big bomb of storms here that's kind of diving more southeast and then lining up from west to east. So this is not what we were looking at earlier in the computer models at all, really. I'm trying to think of which computer model is handling that better. I think the HRRR had a closer solution to what's really going on here. But looking at the model again, this is the IBM graph. And it takes those storms that are in progress and they basically hit the brakes right where they're at, slowly crawling east. And then it starts racing eastward after 10. So I'm not quite sure where to go with that at this point, but other than just track what's actually in progress. I'm going to change that model and see if I can get a different, a better look with maybe the HRRR and see if it looks any better. But I don't like that model output now. It just doesn't look realistic. All right. So let's change this. And okay, so there's the HRRR. From 8 o'clock, there's 9, which is where we are right now. It has storms up to the north in Republic County. It's got all it diving to the southeast and then still kind of racing east at midnight to Topeka. And then spreading out. Okay. That solution matches the severe storm watch very well. But the other model we had does not match it at all. So there is still enough movement in there coming from southwest to northeast to believe some of the stuff can still make it, you know, as far as Holton or Topeka. But there's nothing at all looks like that north-south oriented line that earlier was showing up. It's really mutated into something different from that, for sure. All right, peak winds, nothing too wild right now. There's a severe storm watch going till 1 o'clock in the morning. So if you folks are in Marysville, Seneca, Hiawatha, you are not in the severe storm watch. You still could see severe weather tonight. The trend looks like it's probably going to stay south of those areas along the Nebraska state line. And the worst storm we have is really this. That's in Ellsworth, Lincoln County, coming across I-70 with winds that are probably 80 miles per hour close to it. And then we just had a new severe storm warning issued a moment ago that goes over into Dickinson County. And right in the middle of it is the old warning. This is an old warning right here that they just upgraded. So they have a warning surrounded by another warning, which can get confusing to have warnings surrounded by other warnings. So this one for Dickinson County over here, let's see if we can see what time it goes till. Give me a time. .9:30 for half ping pong ball size hail. And we still have the spin right here. And the spin has kind of stayed just east of Salina. It's not a tight spin, but it's been persistent, and it's still there. And it's moving slow to the east. There's also some spin in the north central part of Saline County. It's northwest of Elm Creek is what it's showing there. And this stuff over here is the wild, strong, straight-line winds that are going across Lincoln County into Ellsworth County now. Let's loop this. So this stuff is making some progress farther northeast here, starting to get into Clay County shortly. And again, this hook down here still worries me. And this won't necessarily start to die down anytime shortly here. All right, bear with me, guys. I'm going to try again to get this other Storm Chaser feed going here. I really want to have this.
Doing okay on your own?
I'm doing good. Thank you, David.
You need something, just holler at me.
I will. I really appreciate it. Well, that's not going to work. Okay. Another time. Go ahead and take the other monitor, or the other one. There you go. That's Mike again. He's in this storm that's by Salina. And the clouds look like they're just almost on the ground. That is really wild. Ooh, okay. All right, so again, this is not a tornado warning with this thing. It's just the closest candidate for producing a tornado that we've got by far. And Mike is right on that in Saline County, so we'll be watching that one really close. There's a look at I-70, the Solomon exit, which is in the severe storm warning. Winds to 70 miles per hour is what they're mentioning with this.
Yeah, there is
And then down the road, there's Abilene, not quite as rough yet, and the warning goes right up to Abilene.
look at the radar. It appears that there
And the
is
farthest to the west, I can't get that Lincoln Hill to come in. I really wish I could, because I'm sure that's got the worst of the winds on it, almost for sure now. And again, there's what Mike's looking at. That's a lowering in that storm. That's close to Salina, just east of Salina, and moving into Dickinson County shortly. So again, if anything produces a tornado, it's going to be this that Mike is on over there. Yeah, that would be it. And his page, this is on YouTube, and he's the Antler Collector is his name. And if you go to his page, you'll see why he's called the Antler Collector. I'm not sure I've met anybody close to this this fellow. If anybody knows more about antlers or has more of them, I don't know who they'd be. You see the wind's getting the trees getting beat up there.
I'm trying to figure out why my camera on my live is
All right, take me back to radar with you guys, will please. Thank you. All right. So we have a severe storm warning for the southwest part of Cloud County. It goes for a few more minutes here. But the worst of the storms is this rotating thing going into Dickinson County that Mike is on. So we're going to watch that as it gets in Dickinson County for sure. And this over here, oof, that's in Ellsworth County and in coming out of Lincoln County. That's a nasty storm. Okay, so if you're wondering why I'm not breaking into TV for something like this, if it's that concerning to me, this storm is several counties out of what's considered to be our designated market area. So we technically cover, and I'm only going to really rant about this here on live stream. Our DMA from Nielsen and the FCC, basically this area right there, that's our west southwest extent of our coverage area. So for me to cover something that's in Lincoln or Ellsworth County, I got to go 2 counties out. Now, Dickinson County is not technically ours, but I will cover something in Dickinson County all day if it looks like it's going to endanger people in Clay County, Gary County, Junction City, Fort Riley. It makes no sense in the world for me not to give Gary County more heads up for something. For example, 2016, I covered that tornado that went by Chapman, well west of Abilene. I think it was still in Saline County when I brought it up. So, just because it's the edge of our coverage area doesn't mean I'm not going to do something in Dickinson County. But if it's in Saline County, it's got to be pretty bad for me to go on and break into our 13.1 WIBW TV. It has to be pretty bad in Saline County for me to break in over that. KWCH out of Wichita covers this. So if there's something in Lincoln Ellsworth, for me to break in on 13.1 over here, I mean, it needs to be real high end for me to do that. So on the live stream, I can talk about this all day. And we're going to try to do more of it, of course. And that's the world we're in now. This is more live streaming and this kind of stuff. And I want to do more of this. So, but that's there we go. Tornado warning. Saline County. So, I'm not going to break into TV for this one. It's not even into Dickinson County. So I'm going to check. Let's see Mike's feed again if you guys can, please. So he's close to this.
Tornado warning now to our east. Is there?
Oh, Mike.
Hey, what's it saying? Let's see. Radar indicated. No, I just can't go to it because it's right on set.
So that's the live view in close to Salina right now from Mike.
We are.
This is still like kind of promising things that not necessarily.
And Mike is not a rookie storm chaser. This guy's been out
We are going to head south.
a lot. He's done this many, many, many
We got
times.
to go south.
So this is not a confirmed tornado, but I'm guessing it's on the other side of those truck trailers. There is probably where it would be. All right, so that's what Mike sees. I'll keep a close eye on him and see what he's got. Go ahead and bring me back the radar, guys, if you will. All right, so we got the tornado warning there in Saline County, just east of Salina, and it does go into Dickinson County now. Okay? So this is not confirmed at this point. All right. I'm going to walk in front of the TVs a little bit here. All right, again, it's a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. I don't have it on the ground at this point. Let's go on TV for just a moment, okay? Just wave at me when I'm on. Sorry. All right, we're still live streaming on WIBW.com, of course, and we're going to break in briefly here on TV. We have a tornado warning in the northeast part of Saline County and the west central part of Dickinson County. Doppler radar indicated at this point. If you're in Solomon, Holland, you're in the path of this. Salina is not in the path of this, but areas like Abilene, New Bern, Enterprise, Chapman, you should be paying close attention. You notice this doesn't go very far over into Dickinson County because this thing is moving extremely slowly. Take the other source you guys can. Let's check out Mike Charous's feed from his dash cam. Mike is storm chasing this. Has had a pretty good look at it. This is not on the ground from what I see. And this is technically KWCH coverage area. I have eyes on it. So if this thing touches down, we'll come back on TV and stay for as long as we need to, forever. As long as this is not on the ground, at least as far as we know, we're going to stay on WIBW.com, continue to live stream this. So again, it's a tornado warning, northeast corner of Saline County is where the problem is. It's really just west of Abilene at this point, and we're watching it real close. Again, I'm live streaming this continuously on WIBW.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live as well, so you can watch us there continuously. But for right now, we're going to put 13.1 back on TV. There's the feature right there you can see. And again, it's not down, but we're tracking it. All right, so stay with us in the live feed. We'll come back on TV if it touches down or starts to get a little farther to the east. Stay with us right here on the WIBW channels. We'll keep you safe and informed.
South on 81.
All right, my friends, I hope that makes sense to you why I would cover it that way. And every time, if you try to write a policy for how you would do this exactly, there's always some gray area. You know, in this situation, I can do this on Facebook, I can do it on YouTube, I can do it on WIBW.com with a live stream, all kinds of different ways. I have a storm chaser right there on the thing, and he doesn't see it down. And it's in the western part of a county that connects to my official designated market area. So if it touches down, we'll go on and stay with it. But in this case, even the severe storm warning that was in Concordia or Cloud County, not Concordia, but Cloud County, even that's gone. So we don't have that warning even in our market area technically. So I have no warnings in the WIBW market officially. Like I said, it doesn't mean nobody's watching us over there. People get us on antenna. I don't know how the cable situations are over there, but most people in Saline County are going to be watching KWCH or one of the other stations from Wichita. Hopefully KWCH, because that's our partner. That's our sister station. But this thing is not racing eastward across Dickinson County. And right now it's a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. So, and if you watch me here for a while, how long have I been saying that thing might produce a tornado? So on the live stream, you know, we've been on this for a minute. Go ahead and take Mike again, please.
No. No. All right.
I don't know, it's 20 at the moment. Okay, go ahead and take the radar.
All right.
So again, this is a Doppler radar indicated tornado in the east central part of Saline County. And as I take over the velocity here, there's your rotation. The bright greens up against the bright pinks, right in this area right there. That is the tornado, or potential tornado. And it's moving over into the western part of Dickinson County. Now I'm going to loop this, and let's go back even far. Let's try 2 hours. So in 2 hours, we'll go back. Okay, there we go. That's at 8:23. Your rotation's right about here. We'll roll it forward to now. And how far has that moved? In 40 minutes. 5 miles. I mean, this thing's moving extremely slowly. So if there's a tornado there, it's moving something like 2 or 3 miles per hour. The rotation is still there, and it's been persistent. But if you're in New Bern, you could probably outwalk the thing to escape. Fortunately, unless it becomes a big tornado, which then it's a different deal. But right now, the rotation is not extremely impressive. And again, it's Doppler radar indicated. It's not spotter confirmed. And I can't see it on Mike's thing, and nobody's texting me to see it. So, okay, so if you were in Topeka, Emporia, Lawrence, these places that are in this watch, so far the severe storms have stayed off to the west, and it's taking a while for this all to kind of move in. So as we put the radar back into motion here, we'll loop it. And what I'm seeing here is the slow. It's slow. I mean, the solutions that showed it coming in later are what's playing out here. But it looks like it's favoring a more south trajectory, if you will. that while some of the storm is moving into the southern part of Clay County, and the stuff in Saline County certainly climbing to the north, it is highly unlikely that you'll see severe storms getting up to areas like Marysville, Seneca, or Hiawatha. Computer models earlier were definitely indicating that the severe wind would get that far north, and now that does not look like the case. This stuff over here is where we have the strongest of the straight line winds going through Ellsworth County, where we do have the 80 mile per hour indication there on the warning. And I will see if we got anything that high on the reports here. There are no reports inside the warning at this point. But how about these guys? Let's see. There's a 70, and that is 58. So the radar was indicating it's up to 70, up to 80, but they're not producing any confirmations yet. Okay, there's our tornado warning again, and it does look impressive there on the radar. Go ahead and take Mike again, guys. Okay, take the radar again. So it's a Doppler radar indicated tornado still. It does look impressive on the radar. This, getting more of a ball look to it. If it was down, I'd be convinced that was debris. I'm not sure this down. I don't think that it is. Let's go ahead and check and see if there's anything showing up on the correlation coefficient there. I don't think so. Man, that thing is slow moving. It is almost stationary, truly. I mean, it might be moving 3 miles per hour. Either way, it looks more impressive on radar now than it has at any point. That ball shape here is the most impressive tornado structure that I've seen so far on this thing, out of anything today by far. So, western part of Dickinson County, we may have a tornado there shortly, if not already. It's pretty far from me the cameras that I have access to. Other than, of course, Mike, he's on it. It's exit 186. Let's see where I'm trying to get where he's going here. I can't read that. I think he's going south now. Okay. All right, bring up Mike's thing again, please. Now he's in a better position, and he's heading south. He got off I-70. He's heading south now, closer to that storm. And the dramatic go to black there. Okay. I assume he's all right. He shouldn't have been whacked, I don't think. There we go. When I talk to Mike again, I'm going to tell him he scared me. That was not cool. Okay. All right, bring the radar back up. We have a new damaging warning for several counties here. So now we're going into Saline County, Barton, McPherson, Ellsworth, all in the destructive tag. So where it's filled in here, they're saying 80 mile per hour winds are possible on all of that. And again, they're taking that warning south. And I think that just filled in the old warning that was there. So let's read this. And the Weather Service says 907, severe storms along a line extending from 5 miles northwest of New Cambria to 8 miles northwest of Marquette to 6 miles north of Claflin, moving southeast at 30. Destructive storms for Canopolis Lake and Salina and other portions of northwest McPherson, Saline, Ellsworth, Rice, and Barton. 80-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. I think they just updated the tornado to 2.5-inch diameter hail. Nope, they did not. So let's check out where the hail is. So that's the tornado potential, though, and that is moving into the western part of Dickinson County. The largest hail probably is that, actually, just southwest of Abilene. Yeah, that's the biggest hail is going to be that storm right there. And again, it has the potential for a tornado, and you got winds of 80 miles per hour possible all down that line. And again, it is not in the WIBW coverage area. It is in the K-Witch and Wichita coverage area, or I would be on TV rambling nonstop through somebody's favorite show. Take the other source, if you guys will, please. That's I-70 at Solomon right now. That's at Abilene. Chapman, not so rough just yet. Let's see if I can go farther south here. And I don't think it'll be this far south yet. That's I-135 north of McPherson, so we're not quite there yet with the damaging winds. That looks like 80-mile-per-hour winds. There we go. So that is I-135 Centennial Road, and just outside Salina, and kind of up to the upper right here. On a normal day, you'd be able to see city lights. So that would be, that's what that is. That's going to be where the strongest of those winds are going to be. All right, let's check out the view from Mike again, as he is trying to get into a view to see this tornado if it's there. Night storm. Say it's rain wrapped from what I can see there. So very tough to get eyes on that. But nobody's reporting it down, thankfully. All right, go ahead and take the other source, you guys will. Back to radar, please. What time are we up to? 9:13. Let's go and go back on TV for a moment, guys, if you would. I'm good. All right, let's check out the other source, if you guys will please, Denny. I want to show them the view of, this is Salina right now, I-135 Centennial Road. So this is the 80-mile-per-hour winds that we're looking at as being a potential, is this stuff right here. Take the other radar source, if you guys will, please. And this is the tornado warning we're tracking, just coming out of Saline County into the western part of Dickinson County. Still Doppler radar indicated. We still have our storm chaser on this, watching it closely. So I don't think this is down, but the western part of Dickinson County is in the tornado warning. So we are watching you. We are live streaming continuously with this. And if we see it touch down, or if it gets a bit closer, if it looks like it's going to Gary County, Morris County, or Clay, we'll go on and stay with it long term, or if it touches down. We are live streaming this on WIBW.com, WIBW Plus, on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live as well. So if you want to watch us cover this nonstop, I am on all those live streaming platforms right now. And again, it's not down, but if it does touch down at Western Dickinson, we'll come on and stay with it. Or if it starts to get closer to Arizona Junction City, Fort Riley, Manhattan, we got you. So stay with us here on the WIBW channels. We'll keep you safe and informed. All right, thank you, Bridge. Yee. All right. Now, if anybody's talking to Jeffrey, I can see him. I cannot make my technology show him right now. And that's my fault on this end. So I'm watching his feed. I don't see it down. If I do, then we'll go with it. But just if anybody's talking to Jeff, I'm not able to display his stuff at the moment. But I'm still trying. I'm going to try a little harder. Let's see. All right, my friends, bear with me here. I'm going to see if I can get... I want to see if I can get Jeff's feed on here. I really do. All right, just not going to happen. All right, I tried. Sometimes I can't outsmart the problem, at least not that quickly. All right, so again, Doppler radar indicated tornado in the western part of Dickinson County now. And I've got two different storm chasers on this. I don't see it down. The rotation in there is more impressive. The hook echo is less impressive than it was. So if you're in Northeast Kansas, if you're watching me, let's just show you where the problem is here and where it's not. So if you're in Topeka, you're not in danger right now. So I don't want to scare anybody in Topeka and make you think that I'm covering a tornado here, not on TV with it or something. Holton, Osage City, Emporia, we're all good right now. Marysville, Seneca, Hiawatha, you're fine. This is a potential tornado southwest of Abilene, and I am concerned this could become a problem for Council Grove. I don't think it'll make it as far northeast as Junction City, but this is the kind of thing that could become a big tornado, is worrying me. So this is out ahead of the main line. It has a good looking inflow in the front of it. So I'm trying to express here that I see this as a potential problem for Morris County, Gary County, in the next 45 minutes maybe, but it's moving slowly. It'll probably stay south of Junction City. And look at that, when I put it in motion, you can see it hardly moves. The area of rotation there. So your rotation right in this area here, and over the last hour, it's maybe moved 8 miles. Now, part of why the colors are brightening up is because it's getting closer to the radar, but I'm becoming more concerned about the storm than I was, for sure. Areas far to the north, Clay County is in a severe storm warning. Much of Cloud County is in severe storm warning again. But most of the area is not in a warning at this point. I'm kind of going back and forth between two different sources to watch my chasers here. So you see me walking back and forth. I have kind of a weird setup this evening, but we can still do this. Okay, I still don't see it down. All right, so let's go back over here. I'm going to control the radar from the desk. The one thing that might be a tornado going right now is this thing southwest of Abilene. Nothing else in the area is close to this problem. The bright area there, right in here, that's where we have potential for a tornado. Check debris. I don't see anything flying. But we do see plenty of rotation there. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning just coming out. And this one's for Southwest Dickinson. 70-mile-per-hour winds, half-dollar size hail. Eastbound and westbound I-70 closing between 219 and 233 because of severe weather. Okay? Go ahead and take me to the other source for you guys will again. Thank you. So that is North McPherson. And the message I just got there was from KDOT Alert, saying they're closing down part of I-70 there. And they said that was going to be, the mile markers again on that, from 219 to 233. Am I in the wrong area here? That's in western Kansas. 219 to 233, that's out of west. Interesting. Okay. Bring Mike back up here. And then I'm going to see what's up with that. Go ahead and bring the radar back up, guys, please. That is strange. I'm not sure why they'd be closing that part of the highway way out west. There's not a severe storm there at the time. All right. So that's out west. I'm not sure why that's going on. I don't know. All right. So again, we're tracking this tornado warning that is in Dickinson County. The western part of Dickinson County has been sitting there for a long time. It goes till 9:45. The hook has taken kind of a different shape now. So you see there a few minutes ago, we had the hook here. Go forward a few minutes, it kind of straightens out. See, it's kind of straight here. You roll forward up to now, and we still got the same rotation, so the hook's still there. The potential tornado's still there. If it's there, this is a tornado. If it is, that's it. It's a few miles west of Holland. It's been a few miles west of Holland for a long time. It's going back in time here. That's, let's see. That's at 8:57. So that's a half hour ago. This thing's just crawling, moving very slowly. And nobody's reported this is on the ground, thankfully. Okay. So I am worried still. Dickinson County, certainly concerned about Dickinson County. We'd have to be concerned eventually about Morris County, maybe Gary County, and we'll see how long this thing keeps spinning. So far, fortunately, we haven't seen anybody report this is down. But it's not giving up. At all. All right, so the tornado warning continues for the western part of Dickinson County until 9:45. And we're either going to be, there's a new destructive severe storm warning for this part of the storm. You see that number? 100 miles per hour. Okay, so now we're up to 100 mile per hour winds. And that's for Marion, McPherson, Saline counties. And this part of the storm is with a potential tornado and hail up to 2.5 inches diameter. All right, let's go back on TV for a minute, please. All right, thanks for sticking with us here on the WIBW channels. We're still covering tornado warning in Dickinson County on the live stream. This just came up and I want to pass this along too. It's just out of the WIBW viewing area, so we're not going to cover up all 13 right now. But this number is something you don't see very often. 100 mile per hour wind speeds with this. So we're looking at Marion, McPherson, and Saline counties, just south of Salina, down to McPherson, over to almost Hillsborough. If you got friends or family in that area, or if you're in that area, you need to take shelter like it's a tornado. 100 mile per hour straight line winds is extremely dangerous. Okay, I mean a tornado at 100 mile per hour winds, you know what kind of damage that can do. Straight line winds of that can do all kinds of damage as well. So if you're in those areas, Marion, McPherson County, or if you have friends or family there, give them a call and tell them to take shelter. They can watch KWCH, our sister station. They'll be covering it on TV continuously, no doubt. I'm still watching this potential tornado moving very slow in the west central part of Dickinson County. Again, I'm not going to cover this all the way through CBS, but I do want to mention this and just keep letting you know it's west of Holland, it's southwest of Abilene. If it touches down or gets a little closer to Morris County or over into Gary County, I'll holler at you and stay on TV continuously. But for right now, I don't think it's on the ground. It just looks like it's nasty. So stay with us here. We're going to continue live streaming on WIBW.com, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. We'll break back in on TV shortly with another update. And of course, I have 13 News at 10 coming up. It's going to be a long night of severe weather. Stay with us. Isaac, if you hear me, you may want to send a push out that 100-mile-per-hour winds are possible in McPherson and Marion counties. Even though it's not technically our coverage area, that's super dangerous. I mean, that's not common, guys. All right, so the KDOT camera there at I-35 and Centennial is dead. That's not a surprise with something like 100-mile-per-hour winds ripping through there, obviously. And wow. Do hope everybody's staying safe out there. Okay. Well, I'm trying to set up as a camera that's near McPherson, that's just out ahead of the wild wind that hasn't been knocked out yet. So that's kind of what I'm doing off screen there. All right, back on the radar here. Again, there's a new tornado warning just issued going till 10:15. And this actually includes, yes, so 10:15 as I mentioned. That box doesn't make any sense. Okay. Okay, tornado warning for southwest Dickinson until 10:15, 9:30 p.m. A couple moments ago. Capable of producing tornado 4 miles northwest of Gypsum, moving southeast at 10 miles per hour. So 4 miles northeast of Gypsum. I'm not sure if Gypsum's on my map. Thought it was. There's Gypsum Creek. Do they think it's that? Gypsum must not be on my map. Okay. Either way, the rotation's that. That's it. Here. So that's where I see the rotation on that. I'm going to check the velocity. Yeah. That's it for sure. This is a powerful storm, guys. Oh my. Okay. So what I'm seeing there is, I'll toggle this and get the warnings off so you can kind of see the colors with me here. There we go. Okay. The reason I'm kind of grunting and making noises here, apologize for just, but what I'm seeing there is these areas of bright orange and pink showing up here. That's intensifying. This bright area of blue right there, that's intensifying. If I put a value on this, it's going to be something close to 100 miles per hour probably, and probably going the other way up north of it. So let's just do it. I'll just show you. I don't want to scare anybody. There's minus 92, and farther up there's a plus 92. So you've got, this is going 92 miles per hour one direction, that's going 92 miles per hour the other direction. You put them right beside each other, it's a tornado. If they stay separated like this, it's just a big, super powerful storm that's spinning. Okay, so big, super powerful storm spinning, big deal. Wind damage, big hail, those kind of things, okay? Now the air's 100 mile per hour, 74. Either way, big rotating storm, big powerful rotating storm in the western part of Dickinson County. There's going to be damage from this. There's no way there's not damage from this. And that's the new tornado warning issued a few moments ago. And it includes the west and southwest part of Dickinson County. This thing over here is the potential for straight line winds of 100 miles per hour in McPherson and Marion counties. And 100 mile per hour, or 100 miles per hour, is stronger than an F1 or EF1 tornado. So, I mean, straight line winds of that magnitude, you know, you can have damage over a large area. The thing is that that's very far from the radar. Actually, it's getting closer to the Wichita radar now. So let's see if I've got values here. Yeah. So we'll toggle this again. Lensborg to New Gotland. These areas and through here, you have, you know, some crazy number here. What is this? 110 miles per hour. Yeah. So this area from Gypsum Creek, New Gotland to McPherson, that's dangerous wind. Very dangerous. You have friends and family down there, let them know. Or if you're watching the live stream, you should take shelter. You know, 100 mile per hour winds, straight line winds, is worse than a lot of tornadoes. Most tornadoes are EF zeros. You know, it gets small the higher up you go. You know, most are EF zeros. The next fewest is next most is EF ones and twos, threes, and it really tapers off. It's exponential for how many are the smaller ones. But you know, 100 mile per hour straight line winds is a big deal. That's really dangerous. All right, southwest part of Dickinson County. This is also very dangerous. You got winds going one direction, 100 miles per hour, and going the other direction about 85. Okay, so this is a tornado warning in southwest Dickinson County. These are not right beside each other. There's some separation. Now, what you'll see over here is these values kind of don't look as scary on the sides. The reason for that is the radar is up here to the right. So what you're seeing is things up here, it's probably rain, it could be hailstones, it could be a leaf, whatever it is moving 100 miles per hour that way. This is going 85 miles per hour that way. Why is it not doing anything wild over here or here? It's because at this point, anything that's going side to side is not going fast away from or toward the radar. So if something's spinning on the sides, it's going towards you and it's going away from you. But the back part of it's going side to side is not going faster towards you or away. It's just going side to side. So that's why you don't see anything here. It's a wild value over here. But that whole thing, this whole mesoscale, you know, that whole thing is spinning 100 miles per hour. That storm is spinning that fast. That's what you've got going on there in the southwest part of Dickinson County. It's so wild to look at on radar. I'm having a hard time coming up with words for it now. But that's how strong that storm is, enough to make me have trouble speaking. It's not tornado. I don't think so. It doesn't look like it's touching down from what I see there on the radar. If it was, we would surely see debris by now with something like that. And I've been watching Mike's feed repeatedly, and I don't see it on him, and I don't see debris. All right, I want to check in on McPherson again. Can you take the other source, guys? And of course, I'm not wearing an IFB, so if you want to come yell at me and tell me how long I can continue to stream here before I'm causing you trouble for the 10, then just come and yell at me. So that's a live look there, I-35 north McPherson. And from what I see there, the winds are not 100 miles per hour there yet. This is a live look from Mike, and he is live chasing that potential tornado in Dickinson County. The reason he's sitting still is because he's in a position where we'll be able to see it if it's there. So you are looking live right now at a storm that is rotating 100 miles per hour in a big circle. 5 minutes? 6 minutes? 56? 555. I don't know what you're saying. Just come yell at me. I'm sorry. I promise I'm not trying to be difficult. So again, that's the view that from Mike Sharuis, who's storm chasing over there. And if it's down, we're going to see it.
15 maximum.
From now?
Well, yeah.
So what time do you want me to shut up?
Maybe just a little before 55.
Okay. Deal.
Got everything pretty much ready. I just need to test a couple things.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. All right, so again, because we're covering storms that are just out of our coverage area, I can go online here almost forever. If it gets into or touches any part of a DMA county, I'm on. The thing in Clay County is not high end, but that's a dangerous storm in the western part of Dickinson County. And it's dangerous in Marion and McPherson County for sure. And Mike is watching that storm. Again, this is the one that he's moving the camera out. See what we got here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that the value of having Mike out there is, from what I see, we don't think it's down. Now let's go back to McPherson. This is that camera that is I-35 North McPherson. Kind of waiting on the severe wind to get there. All right, take the radar from me again, guys, please. Thank you. So the tornado warning continues in the southwest part of Dickinson County. And you can just see, it doesn't take the trained meteorologist really to see where that thing's spinning. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But very powerful spin heading toward the area around Carlton. Going to cross close to where Highway 4 and 15 are. But over the last hour, this thing is, just really moved a couple of miles. It looks like it might be accelerating now and moving a little faster to the southeast. I'll check out the velocity here again. And I'll try not to run out of words on what to say about it this time. That's just really impressive. So I'm going to put a 60-minute loop on here. And I'm going to draw where it is right now. So that's kind of the center of this wild rotation. Let's go back in time. This 9:43. I'm going to go back to 9:13. And maybe move 2 miles then. And then back an hour ago, maybe 8 miles. So you can see in the last couple of frames where all these darker colors of blue, these brighter oranges start showing up. That's when this thing's becoming more powerful. And it wasn't moving much farther away from the radar or closer to the radar at that point. It's just becoming that much more pronounced as just a violent storm. But it's drifting, it's just barely moving there in the southwest part of Dickinson County. Now check this out. They've added destructive tags and gone farther out here. They've taken the destructive tag all the way down here to Greenwood County. So this stuff is racing now, absolutely racing across McPherson and Marion counties. And it's going to start moving into Harvey County. We've got, what do we got? Greenwood County, isn't that, I think? No, Greenwood's County over here. So Chase is in this. And Marion, McPherson, and then Butler. Butler is in it. And then Harvey. Okay. So, but yeah, they've added that destructive tag farther out ahead of this now. All right. Whoops. Okay, take Mike's video again, the other source. He's close to the intersection of Highway 4 and Highway 15, it looks like. So he's right in this area. That's where he's close to where Highway 4 and Highway 15 are together. So he's really close and just out ahead of this rotation that's coming near Carlton and Holland in the southwest part of Dickinson County. So that's the view you have right now. He's really close to this thing. He's showing us on the radar scope. Okay, yeah, that's where Mike's at. I think it's radar scope, not sure. So there's a rotation, and Mike's right ahead of that. You see the time 10:08. That's why it says 10:08. I'm not sure why I saw that. Okay. I'm not quite sure why it's there. Okay. So, of all the grunting I've thought of watching this, okay, what do we got here? Oh, that's an estimated time when he would arrive at the thing. Okay, so bring it back to radar if you guys will, please. So of all the grunting I've done, oh, this is a powerful storm, and oh, this is scary and all this stuff. There's a great thing about this, that these areas of the most powerful motion are not right beside each other. So, we're going to have damaging winds with this, surely. They could be 80 miles per hour worse. But the winds are not, the different directions are not touching each other. So maybe, just maybe, this will not be as high end as it could be. Now over here, this is where these winds could be 100 miles per hour, which is amazing to say. But McPherson to Lone Tree in that now, and getting almost to Hillsboro. This line right about here, I'll draw it on here. This is where the strong straight line winds begin, and it's still howling well behind that, and it's all moving to the southeast. So that's the most dangerous area of the strong straight line winds, is going to be in those areas. I'm going to try to bring up a KDOT camera that's down there in that. And this one that's just north of McPherson just never looks that bad. Bring up the source for you guys. Well, there you go. This is K61 at I-135 north. It's close to McPherson. And those cars are getting through okay. Now, the wind is strong there, no doubt. But that does not look like 100 miles per hour to me, thankfully. Now, on the map, we'll check out where that is. It's right there. We're right in McPherson. Now, this camera just north of McPherson, I-135 north of McPherson, this should be in some of the strong winds. If it is, that camera's staying awfully steady for being beat up with winds like that. I can see the trees over on the left side are swaying. We have some cars coming down the road now. Let's wait and see what it looks like for these guys when they try to get through here. But if it's 100 mile per hour winds, I can't imagine that people be driving very fast at all, or I would imagine people would pull off. Maybe they are stopped up there. Okay, so these lights around over here are moving. Can't tell if that's a vehicle or why those lights are kind of moving around over there. All right, so that's that one. Let's check the other one again real quick here. It's hard to tell there. All right, Hillsboro wouldn't be in it yet. It's not quite to them. There's Abilene on I-70, strong winds. All right, take me back to the radar if you guys will, please. What time are we up to here? 9:50. About 5 minutes before we'll go and break this off. So I'm not sure if Isaac will continue the live stream, just go through, or what he'll do here. But Isaac, if you're listening, I'll pick up the live stream again after the newscast. So if you want to, I don't know if you continue going through with it or how you want to do it, but I'm fine to just keep going after the show too. So let me give you a rundown of what's going on here. Potential tornado, southwest Dickinson County. Okay, that is this area right here near Carlton, kind of moving slow to the south. It's moving 5-8 miles per hour for about 2 hours now. And this is a storm I talked about maybe 2 hours ago. It was hooking around Salina. And you can see where's it at now. It started near Salina, and now it's heading southeast. The bigger storms, the wild wind, this is the leading edge of that, getting down here into McPherson and Marion counties. That line right there, that's the leading edge of that worst wind. And the warnings with it go southeast down to Butler County, okay? So in northeast Kansas so far, we've been fortunate to see the storms really going around us and really beating up the K-Witch and Wichita TV coverage area. So this is no joke. This thing right here, they've now downgraded to 90 mile per hour winds, but 90 mile per hour winds potential with this entire area here that includes part of Chase County, down into Butler County, and over into Harvey County as well is in that. So, dangerous storm in that area. And it's even in Sedgwick County. So again, for our friends at K-Witch, that's we work with them closely. I am sure that Ross Jansen and the gang down there at K-Witch are covering this. I have not checked, but I'm sure they're covering this for sure right now down there. So for us, this has really kind of gone around us so far. Now, if I loop the radar here, you'll still see strong storms are migrating eastward, now getting into Gary County, Morris County, Riley County, and we still could have severe storms this top part of this. Most likely, fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever you want to do, most likely the worst of this is going to be all the stuff that's ongoing over here right now. And we have one of those bow echoes showing up on radar that we had on models before. And we have that embedded rotation right here in the southwest part of Dickinson County. Also stuff that was showing up computer models. Now we have to see over the next couple of hours, does this stay severe or get worse as it starts coming toward Manhattan, Topeka, Holton, Osage City, Emporia. Especially Emporia, Council Grove, you should be watching this really closely because it's not that far from you. And if we start getting this, we'll start going wall to wall on TV. But after 13 News at 10, we'll come back on with a live stream and keep talking about this much of the night. For right now, I'm going to let the folks behind the scenes go and get ready for 13 News at 10. We'll have updates in 13 News at 10 as well. And of course, we'll go back on with live streaming right after the newscast ends. So thanks for staying with us. We'll keep you safe and informed all night.